Have you ever felt that someone suddenly became angry with you and you had no idea why? There was no argument, no clear mistake, just a colder gaze, a more distant attitude, and subtle hints starting to appear. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? But the more you think about it, the less sense it makes. And then, slowly, you begin to realize, maybe that anger was never really about you. It was an echo of their own insecurity. I know that feeling. The feeling of being misunderstood, of being treated like a wrongdoer, simply because you didn't play the role someone else had written for you. People get upset not because you did something wrong, but because you refused to fall into the trap they set. You didn't react, you didn't join their emotional game, and that loss of control frustrated them. They wanted you to explode, to collapse, to lose your calm. But instead, you smiled, stood still, and walked away. Have you noticed something strange? The calmer you are, the more others lose their composure. When you refuse to follow their dark cloud, your light starts to shine even brighter. And that light, the light of peace, of faith, of a soul held by God, makes those who haven't found themselves feel uneasy because they can't understand how you can remain calm in the storm, how you can smile amid the noise of the world. Someone once said, light confuses the darkness. And maybe that is why they are angry, because when you walk in the light, you make them see the darkness within themselves, the part they have tried to hide for so long. I remember a time when an old friend said to me with frustration, "You always act like you're fine, as if nothing can hurt you." I stayed silent, because if I spoke, my words would only hurt them more. They didn't know that I had once been broken, once weak, once cried quietly in the dark. But I also prayed. I learned to stand up again, and by grace, I became protected by something they could not see. And then, in those weary days, I came across a verse from Psalm 27:1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? I remember pausing for a long time at the words light and salvation, because I realized that light doesn't come from the outside world. It comes from within, from a place untouched by darkness. From that moment, I understood that peace is not about escaping the storm, but about learning to stay calm in the middle of it. Those angry people, they don't truly hate you. They are hating themselves. They are angry because you are no longer easy to control. They are angry because you refuse to play their small games. They are angry because while they remain trapped in jealousy, you have moved forward, stepped into a higher level of awareness. But they can't admit that, so they choose to blame you. If you have ever gone through this, remember, their anger toward you says nothing about you. It only reveals the battles inside them. You don't need to justify yourself, to prove anything, or to lower yourself to be understood. Some people simply cannot understand you because they are not on the same spiritual frequency. And that's okay. When you are chosen to walk with a divine purpose, you will often find yourself alone, not because you are arrogant, but because you are being set apart, to learn to see things from a higher place. That loneliness is not punishment, it is purification. God doesn't lead you into solitude to punish you, but to prepare you for something greater. I know there are days when you feel tired. You want to explain, to make them see that you are not as bad as they think. But sometimes, silence is the strongest voice. When you stay silent, you hand the battle over to the one who knows better than you. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Your silence is not weakness, it is faith. And in that silence, you will begin to see the unseen protection around you. The moments that seem random, a person showing up at the right time, an opportunity opening, a comforting word arriving, none of it is coincidence. They are signs that you are not walking alone. You may not have realized it, but your very presence, the way you live, the way you keep smiling, is a powerful testimony. It tells the world that light is real, that kindness still exists, that faith still has the power to heal. When others try to bring you down, remember that your worth is not found in their words, but in the eyes of the one who created you. They may think you are lucky, but you know it is more than luck. It is the result of faith, of long nights in prayer, of choosing love instead of hate. I want you to imagine this. You are walking on a small path. The wind is blowing, the clouds drifting by. In the distance, the old voices still echo, voices of doubt, jealousy, and pain. But you no longer stop. You keep walking without looking back because you know who walks beside you. Their anger no longer hurts you. It's like distant thunder, loud but harmless. You realize that all the resentment they throw your way only touches the surface, while your soul, where the light resides, remains at peace. And one day, when you look back, you will understand. Those sudden bursts of anger were proof that you were on the right path. Darkness only fights against the light when the light begins to shine. So if today you feel misunderstood or hated for no reason, remember the words from Psalm 27:1. Let them become your breath. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Because truly, there is nothing to fear. They may be angry, but you have the light. They may plot in silence, but you have faith. And when you stand in that light, you will see that no plan of man can overcome the protection of heaven. Believe that, because you, the one hearing these words, are a chosen soul. And this journey, though lonely, will lead you to a place where the anger of the world can no longer touch you, where only light remains, and you become that light. Have you noticed that sometimes people's jealousy doesn't come from great achievements, but simply from the fact that you are still at peace while they are in chaos? They cannot understand why you refuse to play their game, why you don't respond to their sharp words, why you won't react the way they expect. Deep down, they think you are weak, fragile, easy to shake, but they forget that a soul that has walked through darkness no longer fears the night. There are people who come to you with a smile, yet leave wounds behind with their whispers. They try to plant doubt in your heart, to pull you into stories filled with drama, hoping you will lower yourself to their level. They invite you into the trap of resentment and envy, but instead of reacting, you choose another direction, because your soul seems to hear a quiet voice saying, "Don't stop here." I remember once, someone I worked with kept trying to provoke me. They gossiped about others, said things that made me uncomfortable, and watched to see if I would join in. I simply smiled and changed the subject. That night, I recalled the words from Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. I realized that silence is not always cowardice. Sometimes, silence is strength, the mark of someone who knows they are protected by a power greater than human games. The traps they set are not meant to make you fall, but to make you forget who you are. They want you to get angry, to react, to lose yourself in their small games. But you don't belong there. You belong to another frequency, one of light, truth, and compassion. When you refuse to react, you make them see the difference between two worlds, the world of noise and the world of peace. There will be moments when you feel lost. You will wonder if you are wrong for not fighting back, for not defending yourself, for simply walking away. But I want you to remember, when your soul is led by God, you have nothing to prove. Every step you take, even in silence, is being guided in a divine order that human eyes cannot see. There is something special about those who are chosen. They don't win by bringing others down. Their victory doesn't come from fighting, but from keeping their kindness in the middle of a storm of deceit. That peace within them makes others uneasy, because they see in you something they cannot touch, inner freedom. When you can keep your heart calm, you are doing what most people cannot. They need noise to feel alive. They need drama to feel strong. But you need nothing, only the truth. And that truth alone confuses them. They will try to create situations to make you react. They will try to make you lose balance. But time after time, you remain steady. And they begin to realize something. Nothing they do works. Their anger doesn't change your path. Their words don't make you cry. Their plans don't steal your sleep. You seem surrounded by a clear shield of light. Not because you are perfect, but because you trust. I once thought maybe I needed to fight back. Maybe I needed to show them that I wasn't weak. But then, in prayer, I felt a peace descend, as if someone whispered, "Don't waste your strength. I will fight for you." And I understood that not every battle needs to be fought with words. Some battles only require you to stand still, to keep your heart clean from hate, and let the divine handle the rest. When you hold that peace, every plan against you dissolves. Those who wish to see you fall end up watching you stand firm. They don't understand why everything still works for you despite their efforts. They don't understand why you don't lose direction amid the rumors. They don't understand because they don't know about the divine protection, the kind that only awakened souls can feel. Psalm 121:7-8 says, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." When I read that, I realized something profound. God never promised to stop every storm, but He promised to protect your soul through every storm. That means the winds will still blow, people will still gossip, trials will still come, but your soul, the truest part of you, will remain untouched. That is why their invisible traps cannot reach you. Not because you are lucky, but because you were meant to walk through this world without belonging to it. You may not notice it, but you have flown over those traps, not by the cleverness of your mind, but by the guidance of an unseen power. Remember, every time you overcome a challenge without losing your peace, you rise to a higher level of awareness. You are learning the lesson of letting go, of trusting God's timing and plan. You are proving that you belong to the light. Don't be surprised when people who were once close become distant. Don't be hurt when they no longer rejoice in your success. Perhaps your paths have reached a turning point. They are still caught in the game of the world, while you have been called to another path. That path has no applause, no crowd, only you, your footsteps, and a gentle voice within saying, "Keep walking, I am with you." When you understand this, you will stop resenting. You will smile when you see them set traps, because you know they are not fighting against you. They are fighting against themselves, and instead of anger, you will feel compassion. Because they have not yet seen the light that you have seen. Let your heart be still, because everything happening only proves one thing. You are being protected. You are on the right path, and no storm is strong enough to extinguish the light within you. Just like the whisper in Psalm 23:4. That light will stay with you even as you walk through the valley of death. And as you walk, step by step, breath by breath, you will understand. Their traps existed only to show you how high you could fly. For a chosen soul does not live merely to escape darkness, but to learn how to bring light into the very place where darkness dwells. There is something strange that happens after you overcome the invisible traps. You think that when you stop reacting, when you choose peace, people will stop bothering you. But no, they become even angrier, because your peace is something they cannot understand. They cannot stand to see you smile when every plan to bring you down has failed. They envy the way you keep living lightly, still shining, even after all their efforts to pull you down. That anger no longer has a clear shape. It hides in subtle words, in distant glances, in the way they act as if you betrayed them simply because you no longer join their negative conversations. In truth, they are not angry because you did something wrong. They are angry because they misjudged you. They once thought you would collapse, that you were weak, that without them you could not stand, but you did stand. You not only stood up, you soared higher than ever before. And in that moment, the truth begins to hurt them. They realize that your strength doesn't come from resistance, but from faith. You don't need to shout to prove your power. It is your silence, your focus, and your quiet trust that frighten them. Psalm 37:4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." When you live in the joy of your soul, the world cannot understand it, because they are still searching for happiness outside, while you have found it within. And that makes them uneasy. When the light in you begins to shine, darkness becomes confused. It doesn't know whether to fight or to flee. And in that confusion, people often choose the easiest path, to attack you. They don't realize that when they throw hatred, it only echoes back to them like a voice in the valley. I want you to understand this. Their anger is not truly directed at you. It is a reflection of the battles they have not yet won within themselves. They see your freedom, and in it, they see the version of themselves they wish they could be, but are afraid to become. There is a number that often appears in these seasons, 333. The number of angels, a sign of divine companionship. It comes as a gentle reminder that you are not alone, that higher energies are surrounding, protecting, and guiding you. When you see this number on a clock, a receipt, anywhere, pause for a moment and breathe deeply. It is heaven's way of whispering, you are on the right path. If the number 333 speaks to you, remember it or share it, because when you acknowledge the sign, you open yourself to the guidance of the light. You know, some souls cannot bear the light of others, because that light forces them to face their own shadows. When you choose to live in truth, you become a mirror, and that makes many people uncomfortable. They are not ready to see themselves clearly. But that is not your fault. Light never has to apologize for shining. You do not need to justify yourself, nor dim your glow to make others comfortable. Light only needs to keep shining, because when you live at the frequency of your soul, you remind the world that light is real and darkness is only an illusion. Sometimes you will hear them say, "That person has changed. They are not the same anymore." And they are right. You have changed, but not in the way they think. You haven't become cold. You have become clear. You are not distant. You have simply learned to choose spaces that match your energy. Your change is not betrayal. It is rebirth. When others get angry because you have outgrown the limits they set for you, smile. It only means you have expanded beyond the box they once kept you in. And sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for them is to keep shining. Because one day, your light might awaken the light that sleeps within them. If you are hearing these words and feel misunderstood, isolated, or hated for no reason, don't let that sadness make you doubt yourself. Don't dim your light to comfort the darkness. The world may not be ready to understand you, but heaven already does. Perhaps you were chosen not to be loved, but to be proof of faith. And sometimes, that means you will walk alone, but you are never truly alone. I want to invite you, if these words touch your heart, to share something small, a thought, a prayer, or simply the number that resonates with you right now. Write it down, not for attention, but to affirm that you too are on your own awakening journey. Because when you speak light, the universe responds with light. Their anger cannot reach you because it does not belong to you. It is only an echo from their unfinished journey. And you are being taught how to stay calm in the storm, how to smile when misunderstood, how to love even when unloved. And that is the true strength of the chosen ones. So do not hide your light. Do not shrink just because the world is not ready. Keep walking with a gentle heart and bright eyes, because the light within you is what makes darkness tremble. And remember, truly chosen souls never have to shout that they are chosen. They simply live, they love, and they shine. Because in the end, it is not the world that is angry with you. They just haven't yet understood where you come from. There will be days when you feel like a mirror in a room full of darkness. You are not doing anything. You are simply existing. Yet your very presence makes others uncomfortable. They see in you what they have forgotten: truth, purity, and freedom. Your light does not attack anyone, but it exposes what they wish to hide. And instead of facing their own shadows, they choose to be angry with you. Sometimes they spread rumors, tell half-truths, twist stories, and try to pull you down with their words. But you notice that none of it shakes your heart the way it once did, because now you understand. Their anger has nothing to do with you. It is the silent confession of a soul that has not yet learned to love itself. They are not attacking you. They are fighting the weakness within themselves, the part that your light has unintentionally revealed. I remember someone once asked, "Why do they keep targeting me when I've done nothing to them?" The answer is simple: because you make them see. Your light forces them to look into the mirror and face the parts of themselves that still need healing. And not everyone is brave enough to face that reflection. Perhaps that is why Psalm 37:4 echoes in my heart like a gentle melody. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. When your joy is rooted in God, you are no longer moved by how others treat you. You no longer need their praise to know your worth. You don't need to be loved to feel enough. Because true joy does not come from someone else's gaze, but from the light of the one who dwells within your heart. They say you've changed. They say you're not the same anymore. And maybe they're right, because you have learned that you don't need to explain yourself. You've stopped trying to prove that you're good to people who aren't ready to see it. You understand now that sometimes the kindest way to respond to darkness is to keep walking in the light. When you can hold your peace in the middle of the storm, you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You become the one with power. And that makes those who live in chaos feel small. They can't understand how you can still smile after betrayal, stay gentle after criticism, remain kind after being hurt. They don't understand because they have never tasted grace. You know, sometimes God doesn't shield you from gossip. He allows you to hear it, to bear it, to see it. Not to wound you, but to teach you not to be controlled by it. Because only when you no longer react, you are truly free. When people create false stories about you, let them. No one can bring down a soul built on truth. Every lie dissolves when it meets the light of time. And time, like a faithful friend, always stands with truth. The number 444 often appears in such seasons when you begin to learn the art of letting go. It is the number of divine foundation, of protection and stability. If you happen to see it on a license plate, a receipt, or a clock, don't ignore it. It is the universe's message that you are standing on the ground of truth, that you have nothing to fear. Angels are guarding every step you take. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and know that you are being held. Because a soul that chooses to live in light is never alone. Unseen forces are always surrounding you. If this number speaks to you, share it as a testimony. Because when you acknowledge the light, you invite it to stay. I once wanted to explain myself, to defend my name, but one day I realized that truth does not need protection. It only needs to be lived. And when you live in truth, nothing can stand against you. Because you are no longer fighting, you are simply being. And your very being makes every lie lose its power. When light touches darkness, the darkness doesn't vanish instantly. It fades slowly. In the same way, when you hold on to faith, the world around you may not change right away, but you will feel everything begin to move differently. Truth has its own rhythm, and it always finds its way home. Those who once tried to hurt you will eventually realize they cannot make you fall because you are no longer playing their game. You have left that arena. You are no longer there for them to wound, and that confuses them. They are angry not because you attacked, but because you stopped reacting. The silence of an awakened soul is the loudest sound to those still living in chaos. If you are walking through that right now, take a deep breath and remember, every word and every action against you is only a test to help you stand stronger. The light within you is not here to destroy darkness, but to reveal it, to show the world that there is another way, the way of kindness, patience, and faith. So do not fear when your light makes others uncomfortable. Only those still living in darkness fear the light. You are not responsible for making them comfortable. Your purpose is to keep shining gently, steadily, and truthfully until they realize that light is not a threat, but an invitation to come home. And when that moment comes, you will understand a beautiful truth. You were not born to please this world. You were born to illuminate it. Do you notice that the deeper you go on your journey, the more unfamiliar gazes you meet? People can't understand how you can remain so peaceful amid the storms. They can't understand why you no longer chase praise, no longer join the race of comparison, and no longer try so hard to be accepted. To them, you seem distant, but the truth is, you're simply living at a different rhythm, the rhythm of the soul. They see your change and think you've become proud, but in reality, you're just coming home to yourself. They see you quieter, less reactive, unmoved by old games. And that confuses them, because while they live by reaction, you live by awareness. While they find power in controlling others, you find it in mastering yourself. And when you begin to shine, even without trying, that light reveals the parts of them that haven't yet been healed. They look at you and see their own lack of freedom. They see you smile, and suddenly remember the smile they've lost. But instead of looking within to heal, they turn outward in anger, because it's easier to blame the light than to face the darkness. The world has a habit. When people don't understand something, they fear it. And when they fear, they fight it. But you were not chosen to fight back. You were chosen to stand firm. Because, as Psalm 91:11 says, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." That verse is not just a promise, it's a living truth. Every time you keep your heart pure among lies, you are walking with angels. Every time you choose silence instead of retaliation, you are listening to the voice of your soul instead of the noise of the world. You know, something beautiful happens when your soul is protected. The things that once scared you no longer shake you. The criticism that once kept you awake now feels like passing wind. Because you have understood, people can only hurt you if you allow them to. The number 444 appears again here as a reminder. It is the number of divine foundation and protection, the sign that you are standing on sacred ground, where you no longer need to prove anything. If you see this number appearing around you, know that heaven is sending you a message. Keep walking, don't worry, everything is already arranged. If this number touches your heart, remember it, or share it, because when you acknowledge the light, you allow it to surround you more powerfully. People say success makes you lonely, but for chosen souls, peace is what makes them loneliest of all. Because you've learned that not everyone understands the language of peace. When you are no longer driven by competition, others can no longer read your energy. They think you are cold, but you are simply calm. They think you are distant, but you are just living from a deeper place, one that only those who truly listen can reach. They will try to return, maybe through old invitations, sympathy, or a subtle test to see if you're still the same. But you'll realize you can't fall into that cycle anymore. Not because you're trying to be strong, but because you are truly free. Their anger is no longer a threat, just a distant echo of an old lesson. Psalm 18:2 says, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." When your trust is placed there, every attack loses its meaning. You no longer need walls for protection because your faith itself has become your fortress. As you continue on your path, you'll see that God never asked you to be perfect to be chosen. He chose you so that you could become more perfect each day. The gossip, the resentment, the watching eyes, all of them are tools to help you stand stronger in the light. If someone hearing these words feels tired of being misunderstood, of being opposed, I want you to know this: you are not alone. Take a deep breath. Remember that every challenge you face is proof that you are getting closer to what God has prepared for you. People only throw stones at trees that bear fruit, and if they are throwing stones at you, it means your harvest is near. One day, when you look back, you'll see that those who tried to harm you actually helped you see your true strength, helped you recognize who deserves to walk beside you, and helped you stand firmer in your faith. And then you will smile. Not because you've won, but because you no longer need to fight. You have risen above. You have learned to love even those who wished for your fall. And when you can do that, you are no longer just the chosen one, you've become your own light. Let that light keep guiding your path. Because in this world full of shadows, sometimes all it takes is one soul who remains peaceful, one heart that still believes, to prove that heaven is still here among us. At some point, you begin to realize that challenges don't only come from those who hate you, but also from those who pretend to love you. Some hands reach out, not to lift you up, but to pull you back into the old energy. They know you are kind, they know you want to help, and they take advantage of that light. They use the words loyalty, friendship, or family to test whether you dare to say no. And when you do, they get angry. They say you've changed, that you're selfish, that you're not the same anymore. But deep inside, you know you haven't changed, you've grown. You've learned that kindness doesn't mean letting others cross your boundaries. You understand that true love isn't always about saying yes, but sometimes about knowing when to say no. I am reminded of the words in Psalm 18:2, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer." Every time you say no to protect your peace, you are building an invisible fortress around your soul. Not to shut people out, but to keep your light from being dimmed by the world's darkness. Those who are used to controlling you won't easily accept that change. They'll try everything to make you feel guilty, to make you doubt yourself, to make you believe you're wrong for standing up for yourself. They'll say, "You've become distant, you've lost your heart." But you know the truth, you're not closing your door, you're simply filtering who deserves to enter. That is the hardest lesson in the journey of the chosen ones, learning how to love without losing yourself. Because sometimes, blind compassion can become a chain. God didn't call you to be a victim of your own goodness. He called you to be a bearer of light. And light cannot shine if it's covered by false expectations. The number 555 begins to appear during this stage. It's the symbol of transformation, of changes that cannot be undone. 555 is a reminder that when you dare to say no to what doesn't belong to you, you are saying yes to your divine destiny. It is the door opening to a new chapter where you are free from manipulation and false guilt. If this number resonates with you, share it, because when you acknowledge your turning point, you allow the universe to expand your path forward. I know there are nights when you wrestle with guilt. You fear becoming cold. You worry that saying no makes you unkind. But when you pray, you'll hear a gentle voice whisper, "You were not born to please everyone. You were born to live true to me." And when you understand that, peace will settle in your heart. Because true love is not endless compromise. It is living in the light you were given. People may call you ungrateful, but they don't know about the nights you prayed for their blessing even when they hurt you. They may say you've changed, but they don't see that your change was born from 1,000 prayers, from the pain of countless betrayals that turned into wisdom. They only see your strength, but not the scars that became light. Psalm 34:19 says, "The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. That verse doesn't promise an easy life. It promises that you'll never face it alone. And it's true no matter how many times you fall, an invisible hand is always there to lift you up. Each time you dare to say no, that hand holds you tighter, pulling you away from what no longer belongs to you. Be grateful for those who tried to manipulate you. Because of them, you learned the power of boundaries. Because of them, you discovered that even light needs discipline. Because of them, you now understand that kindness doesn't mean allowing others to wound you. When you start saying no, the world around you may grow quiet. Some people will leave, but don't be afraid. That silence is not loss. It is space that God is clearing so He can fill it with better things. You will meet new people, souls, who value you not because they need you, but because they recognize your light. They won't demand, control, or make you shrink so they can feel larger. With them, you can be yourself unhidden, unapologetic, radiant, and when you stand among those souls, you'll realize that every no you ever said was worth it. Because if you never dared to reject the darkness, you would never have had room to embrace the light. So if today someone makes you feel guilty for setting boundaries, remember this: love never asks you to lose yourself. If they truly love you, they will respect your no. And if they walk away, let them go. Because anyone who leaves when you are honest was never there for your truth. Trust that you are being guided. Every no spoken from honesty is a silent yes to God. And when you do that, you're not only protecting yourself, you're preserving the light He placed within you. Because in the end, the chosen ones are not those who say yes to everything, but those who have the courage to say no to what does not come from true love. There comes a stage in the soul's journey when you realize you no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer feel the urge to prove anything. You simply live peacefully, quietly, and complete from within. Yet it's in that very moment that the world around you begins to react differently. Those who were once close start to feel that you are distant. They don't understand why you're no longer interested in idle chatter, why you don't join meaningless debates anymore. They say you've become cold, but in truth, you are just protecting your peace. Maturity allows you to see everything more clearly. You begin to recognize who is genuine and who is pretending, who loves you for who you are, and who stays only for what they gain. The painful truth is that most of the people you thought would walk with you forever cannot cross this stage with you. They are left behind, not because you rejected them, but because they chose to stay within their own cycles. And they become angry, not because you did anything wrong, but because you have grown beyond the limits they once placed on you. Psalm 139:23-4 says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." When you let that prayer sink into your heart, you realize that true growth is not about becoming perfect, but about daring to face the parts of yourself that still need healing. And when you have the courage to do that, the light within you grows stronger, and those who are still asleep in darkness begin to feel lost. You might hear them say, "You're different now, not as cheerful as before." But how could they understand that once you've learned to find joy in stillness, you no longer need loud and artificial laughter? Your joy no longer comes from noise outside, but from peace within. The number 777 often appears during this stage, a sacred seal on the soul of the chosen ones. 777 is the number of awakening, of spiritual alignment, and of unity with divine purpose. When you see it, pause, take a deep breath, and know you are on the right path. Don't be afraid if this journey feels lonely. Light always goes first, and sometimes going first means walking alone. If 777 resonates with you, share it not to boast, but to affirm that you are awake. Because when you openly acknowledge the light within you, you inspire someone lost in the dark to find their way. There is a sad truth about those not yet ready to grow. They mistake peace for coldness, self-respect for arrogance, and silence for weakness. They don't know that silence is often the voice of a soul that has already survived the storm. They get angry because each time they see you, they are reminded of the part of themselves they haven't reached. I remember someone once told me, half joking, half blaming, "You live like you belong to another world now." I just smiled, because in a way, that was true. I no longer live by reaction, but by awareness. I no longer run from pain. I face it and learn to embrace it. And in that moment, I realized true growth doesn't make your heart harder. It makes it softer. Psalm 119 to 105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." When you let that light guide you, you will see that every loss is not a punishment, but a purification. Those who leave simply no longer share your frequency. Those who stay will stay in truth, with no pretending. You know, growth can be painful. It's like shedding an old layer of skin. It stings, but it's necessary. You must learn to let go of those who were once your everything to enter the next chapter of your soul. You must accept that not everyone will understand the light you carry. But don't hide it because of that. Because light only fulfills its purpose when it shines, not when it's hidden to please others. And sometimes, your courage to live authentically, to love deeply, to walk alone, becomes the very miracle that gives someone else the strength to do the same. If someone hearing this feels misunderstood because you've changed, smile. When they say you're different, it's a sign that you're growing. When they no longer understand you, it's a sign that you've risen to a higher frequency. And when they get upset with your peace, know that you are on the right path. Because light always makes darkness tremble before the dawn comes. Keep walking. No explanations needed. No defense required. God sees your heart, and He knows that every silent step you take is a prayer rising upward. One day, those who once criticized you will come to you not to apologize, but to learn how you kept your peace in the storm. And in that moment, you will understand that maturity was never about creating distance. It was about being the light that goes ahead, waiting patiently for others to be ready to see. There comes a moment on this journey when you realize you no longer need to fight. You no longer resist, no longer try to prove anything, no longer fear what's coming. Instead, you begin to surrender, not to give up, but to surrender to the light, to a greater plan that is beyond your understanding. That is the moment your heart opens, and you feel a peace that words can't describe. Once, you believed strength was found in control. You tried to hold everything together, to protect yourself from pain, to make everyone understand you. But now, you understand that true strength is found in release. When you let go, you make room for God to do His part. You stop trying to control the wind, and you learn to open your arms and let it carry you. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." It is not only a comfort, but a secret. Because in stillness, you can hear the voice of the Creator, a sound that doesn't come to your ears, but to your soul. When you are truly still, you see that every storm outside is only a reflection of what happens within. And if inside you there is peace, then no matter how the world trembles, you will remain steady. You begin to see those who once hurt you with new eyes. No more anger, no more contempt, only understanding. Because now you know they too are struggling with their own shadows. And in truth, they were the ones who helped you find your light. They were lessons, not enemies. True transformation always begins with forgiveness. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Every time you let go of resentment, you cut another thread tying you to the past. And the more you release, the lighter you become. The lighter you are, the closer you come to your divine essence. I remember once, during prayer, I asked God, "Why did you let me be misunderstood, betrayed, and hurt so many times?" And deep within, I heard a clear voice say, "Because only through the wound can light enter." I realized then that the cracks in the heart are not weaknesses, they are doors. Through them, the light of truth can flow in and heal from within. The number 999 often appears in this stage, the number of completion, the closing of a cycle, and the rebirth of the soul. When you see 999, it is a sign that the old lessons are done, that you have overcome the tests your soul once feared most. It is also a message that you are stepping into a new chapter, where light is no longer something you seek, it is something you have become. If you sense the presence of 999 around you, pause and give thanks. You have come so far. You are no longer the one who trembles at gossip, no longer the one who tries to please everyone. Now you are the one who can stand still in the storm, smile through trials, and know that everything happens for you, not against you. When the soul reaches this stage, everything seems to slow down. Not because you've lost drive, but because you no longer need to rush. You start to live intentionally. Every word, every action, every breath carries the energy of love. And that energy heals not only you, but everyone who comes near you. You become someone whose presence alone brings peace. People don't know why, but being around you makes them feel lighter, calmer. They don't realize that your peace is the result of the many times you chose forgiveness over revenge, silence over proving yourself, love over bitterness. Psalm 103:12 says, "As far as the east is from the west, so far has He removed our transgressions from us." When you release resentment, God releases your burdens too. Every wound, every mistake, every memory is washed clean in the light of His mercy. You begin to notice that the world is still the same. People still envy. Words are still sharp, but you are different. The things that once made you angry now make you smile. The things that once made you afraid now make you pray. And that is transformation. If today you find yourself standing at a crossroads where the old no longer fits but the new is still unclear, take heart. This is not the end. This is the moment when the cocoon begins to crack and the butterfly prepares to fly. Let the number 999 remind you that the old cycle is complete. What is meant for you will stay, and what no longer serves your soul will naturally fall away. Take a deep breath and whisper, "I choose the light." Because when you choose the light, you are not only saving yourself, you are becoming a living testament of the divine love that created you. And from that moment on, you are no longer the one seeking the light. You are the light. After the soul has been bathed in the light of transformation, everything begins to grow quiet. The loud battles fade, the violent storms subside. What remains is peace. And in that peace, you start to hear subtle sounds you never noticed before. The footsteps of time, the sighs of those still asleep, and the echoes of wandering souls calling you to return. Now, when you look back, you see them more clearly than ever. The ones who tried to hurt you, who spoke falsely about you, who sought to bring you down, they are no longer enemies in your eyes. They are simply lost children, stumbling through the darkness, unsure how to love. They attacked you not out of hatred, but because they could not understand what you carried in your heart. They couldn't bear your light, because your light forced them to face the parts of themselves they feared the most. When you look at them with compassion instead of resentment, you begin to understand that no one was ever truly against you. The world is only reflecting the energy within you. When light fills you, even your enemies become messengers of the soul's lessons. And that is true freedom when you stop seeing people as good or bad and begin to see them only as awakened or not yet awakened. Psalm 91:11 says, "For He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." That verse now hums gently in your heart because you know that everything that ever happened, no matter how dark, was part of heaven's plan. No pain was meaningless. No tear fell unseen. All of it has shaped you into who you are now, someone who knows how to forgive, how to release, and how to love. You begin to understand that those who lash out at you are only reacting to their own pain. They haven't yet learned how to face it, so they throw it at you. But when you don't throw it back, when you look at them with tenderness, you are breaking the chain of old karma. You become the end of the negative cycle they're trapped in. I remember once, as I sat quietly, an image appeared in my mind, a person standing in the rain, throwing stones at the light, only to get wet themselves. And I understood. That was them, the ones who haven't realized that the anger they cast only drenches their own hearts. And when you don't retaliate, when you simply walk away, you keep yourself dry in the storm of the world. But this peace isn't meant for you alone. When you've walked through the darkness, your role is no longer to avoid it, but to illuminate it. You are called to be a light bearer, not for the perfect, but for the fearful. You don't need to preach or convince anyone, just live in love. Because when others see you living in light, they will begin to believe that light is real. The number 111 often appears during this stage, the number of new beginnings, the first light after a long night. It arrives as a reminder that you're entering a brand new chapter, where old wounds are replaced by clarity, where you become a bridge between heaven and earth. If you see 111 around you on clocks, license plates, or messages, know it is the angel's way of whispering. A new chapter is opening. Keep going. If 111 truly resonates with you, share it as a testimony to your journey. Because when you speak the light aloud, you strengthen its presence in this world. Psalm 37:7 reminds us, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him." That is the essence of this stage. No need to hurry. No need to resist. No need to prove. Everything will unfold at the right time, because you have matured enough to understand that sometimes waiting itself is a form of faith. Those who once left you will one day return, not to apologize, but to seek the peace they once mocked. And you will smile, not out of pride, but gratitude. They helped you find the light. And now, you are living proof that grace is real, that every wound, no matter how deep, can become a blessing. When you reach this point, something miraculous happens. The world no longer pulls you along. Praise or criticism no longer moves you. Victory or failure no longer defines you. You begin to live at a different rhythm, the rhythm of peace, the rhythm of faith. And that peace makes you stronger than any weapon ever could. I want you to remember this. What once made you fall now makes you pray. What once made you afraid now fills you with gratitude. Because you have seen the truth, darkness never wins against the light. It only teaches the light how to shine brighter. So keep walking gently as a soul reborn. Do not hate those who still don't understand you. Love them with the light you carry. For it is that love that softens the world. And one day, when they find the light within themselves, they will remember you not as someone they once opposed, but as a mirror that showed them love and faith truly can heal all things. One morning you awaken to a different kind of stillness. No more weight on your shoulders, no more old questions echoing in your mind. Light slips through the window and touches your face like a gentle greeting. In that moment, you understand everything has come full circle. The battle is over, not because you defeated others, but because you have overcome yourself. Everything that once frightened you now reveals itself as nothing more than a shadow on the wall. Every harsh word, every wound, every tear has become a necessary piece of the person you are today. A soul that knows how to love, how to trust, and how to live in the light. You no longer need to run from darkness because you know the light within you is stronger than it. Psalm 37:7 whispers like a final blessing. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. And you understand, this stillness is no longer silence born of fear, but a form of prayer. For you have learned that in silence, the soul can hear the voice of the Creator. As you walk through your day, you no longer feel the need to be seen. You don't crave the spotlight or seek praise. You simply wish to live truthfully, to help those in need, to listen to those who hurt, and to bring peace wherever you go. Because you know that true light is not meant to be kept, but to guide others on their way. The number 888 appears like a sacred promise, a sign of renewal, abundance, and divine flow. It tells you that you've entered a new cycle of the soul, where everything you've sown in love will bloom into blessings. If this number touches your heart, share it as a declaration that you are ready to receive grace. 888 is more than a number. It is the gateway to spiritual fullness, where your heart aligns with the divine rhythm of the universe. Sometimes you still think of the past, the people, the memories, the pain. But now, when you remember, your heart softens. You quietly pray for their peace, because you understand. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's remembering without pain. And that is the sign of a soul set free. Psalm 23:6 says, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." When you read those words now, you smile, because you realize the house of the Lord is not some faraway place in the heavens. It is the state of your heart, where love, gratitude, and peace reside. You are living there, right now. You look back on your journey, the lonely nights, the quiet tears, the whispered prayers. Everything connects like pieces of a perfect mosaic. Every person you met, every trial, every ache, all of it mattered. And you finally understand that nothing ever happened outside the plan of heaven. Now, you no longer fear the people of your past, those who were angry, jealous, or wished you harm. You know they too were instruments in God's hands, sent to awaken you. You are grateful for them, because without them, you would never have learned to stand firm in love. They played their roles in your story. And now you can close that chapter, gently, no anger, no bitterness, only gratitude. You may still hear the noise of the world, the judgments, the fears, the chaos, but you are no longer the one reacting. You are the observer. You understand that light never needs to shout to be noticed. It only needs to keep shining. And you, the one who has walked through the long night, have now become the dawn. Psalm 125:1 reminds you, "Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever." When you live in faith, you feel the solid ground beneath your feet, something no one can take away. And standing upon it, you no longer fear the wind, the storm, or the loss. Now, there is only one thing left to do: share the light. No speech is needed, no persuasion required, just live. Because every time you live with kindness, you tell the story of your soul. Every time you forgive, you open another door for grace. And every time you choose love, you move the heavens. If you are hearing these words, I want you to know this: you are not here by accident. It is no coincidence that your soul has been led to this path. You were chosen not to stand above others, but to remind the world that light still exists. Keep that flame in your heart. Let your spirit rest. And if you feel the resonance, share this story, so the light can spread again from you to another. For when light meets light, the world stops being afraid. And when one soul is healed, all of heaven opens. Walk on, chosen one. Peace is within you, and grace will follow you forever. Grateful that you chose to spend these moments in the light of this story. If it touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so the next whisper of light may find its way back to you.